Hello, and welcome to another video by Rick Miracle. It's been a while since I've gone live on YouTube. I'm going to type in a little welcome to the live stream on my chat. See if anybody's watching. All right, I said, welcome to my live stream. Check in when you see this message. And enter. There we go. So anyways, not going to wait for anybody to check in. So I thought I'd do my current events on live stream. Fix my attire here so I look presentable. Live stream. Can't believe it. It's been a while. I did live stream in 2018, July and August. I didn't make it 2 months before my live stream capabilities were disabled. We won't get into that. Hopefully this is going to be an interesting conversation, a productive conversation, something we can have that'll be allowed to be posted and stay up, because I think it's an important conversation. So as usual, I have a whole stack of documents, and I forgot which year 2025 Rick Miracle report. So apparently this is number 22. You see how I do it here. When I make a video, I make a notation and staple it together. I have this since 2020. Is this the calm before the storm? June 28th. So anyways, July 4th is come and gone. This is July 6th. So the 4th was on Friday. This is Sunday. And the only significant thing I see in the news is the crazy weather in Texas, where apparently 32 or 33 people died. And that's another whole conversation maybe we will get into in this video. Maybe it's in some of these documents. So what I do is I watch videos and I pay attention to my homepage on my browser. I usually use yahoo.com just because I have forever. I do have AOL browser, and I use, forget the name of it, Firefox as my browser. I used to use Internet Explorer, but I feel a little bit more comfortable with Firefox. Maybe that's unfounded. Maybe they're both just as bad. Maybe there's no place to go to hide from the censorship. Anyways, it's Sunday. It's noontime, and I used to make live stream videos at noontime in July and August 2018. lasted about 1 3/4 months before my live stream capabilities were terminated. What have I got behind me here? It's like some kind of cobweb floating around. I've been reading some strange material. Oh, what is that? You can't see it right here. There's some kind of thing floating around. I was reading the Round Robin magazines from 1948 to 1949. Some very strange material. I'll be making a video on that almost immediately. Anyways, is anybody there? I got one thumbs up, so maybe somebody's there. I'll be reposting this. What the heck is going on? I see some kind of cobweb here. Right there. See it? Crazy. It's over here by the books. I don't know if I got rid of it. It's not bothering me, but I can see it. It distracts me. How's that? So I got these documents here. And let's just start out with the first one. Remember, this is just stuff I notice when I'm watching videos or on the homepage of my browser. And of course, if something piques my interest, I go searching for it and I print out the results. And then I sit down and make a video. I could talk about, what's going on in real life and what's going on in my life and stuff I think we all need to be thinking about. So this was on a Richie from Boston video. I just reposted his most current video. I don't post as many anymore because, I'm really not desirous to post other people's videos. I do it in some instances to help other people who are making videos get exposure. So, and I leave a link to where I got the video from so other people will go and watch other videos. How's that? I research the researchers. I research current events. The controllers of the world controlling the media. So whenever they put stuff in the news, it's usually not for our benefit. Yay or nay on that. So I'm watching a Richie from Boston video, and instead of painstakingly stopping the video and, well, Judy, welcome aboard. I've been making videos, Judy, since 2014, and I'm a researcher since 2005 when I woke up. So let me talk about what I saw on Richie from Boston's recent video. Just documents, and I encourage people to chime in and give me more information. So in the comment section, so other people can see the information. You can put a link to information. But attention, U.S. citizens. Yes, you can now be deported. So we know they're rounding up so-called illegal immigrants. And apparently, in the news, not me, people who are legal immigrants, for whatever reason, are targeted and apparently deported. And I guess the scary part is, if that's not scary enough, I don't know where that cobweb is. People, I hate to say this, but people like me making a video like this might get rounded up eventually. Now, if all the predictions are true, that is going to happen. If you remember books like this, 1984, George Orwell, and many other books and documents like the Protocols of Zion and the Communist Manifesto and the Jewish Utopia by Professor Higger, Rabbi Higger. All this is predicted that all the people, and they do this during revolutions or wars or invasions, but all the people who are resistors or opposition to the narrative by the powers that be, I have no idea. I must be in front of the camera or something here. And by the powers that be, they do this during wars and revolutions, controlled by the evil world controllers, many names for them, but they always round up the resistors or the people who are educated, knowledgeable, the intellectuals. It's called a purge. That is modus operandi, normal operation procedures for world changes. You got to get rid of everybody who might speak up and be in opposition. So anyways, attention US citizens. Yes, you can now be deported. So this is on a recent Richie from Boston video. And when I show you these things, you can do like I do. I just take a screenshot so I don't have to write it down. And then I can talk about it or go look it up. So if you want to learn a little trick, just do a screenshot of things. You can pause your video. But anyways, if you look up attention US citizens, yes, you can now be deported. And I label where I got it from usually. So that's concerning. So if what some people think is unfolding, then we can expect these things to accelerate, which they have been. It's almost like every day something crazy is going on. Here's another thing Richie from Boston talked about. mRNA vaccines linked to catastrophic ovarian damage. So in women, the ovaries apparently are being catastrophically damaged by the gene editing technology, according to this. I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying you can look this up. mRNA vaccines linked to catastrophic ovarian damage. And I'm saying you should find this article because that's what Richie from Boston did. He did it as a screenshot or he zoomed in on it when he made his video. So that's two pretty concerning things. The vaccines are causing a lot of damage out there. And the citizens, the people who are going against the government narrative, may be targeted next after all the other people that are already being targeted. It's a crazy conversation, but I think somebody's got to have it. And my platform, I hope I do logical conversations in my videos. Let's talk about another document here. This was crazy. These things are in order as I collected them. So the top will be the newest things that I've seen. And I'm on BitChute.com or YouTube.com or wherever, or I go to other places, and also my email and the comment sections, and I get links and suggestions by people. So you don't know where I'm going to get this stuff from, but this was a video on BitChute. You won't believe how many countries support Israel. So they got a video with clip after clip of people who support Israel, apparently trying to show that people all over the world are supporting Israel. But is that really the case? I think when I show you what's next, you might agree that is not the case. But if you watch the video, and you can just type in this title on this channel, and I have to take out the apostrophes and commas and stuff. So it says won't there, but if you don't take it out, when you go to save the file, it stops wherever the apostrophe or comma might be. And so you have to take it out if you want the whole title to be saved. So you know how to spell won't. How many countries support Israel? So I watched the video for a while, and they showed people from Texas, people from Australia, people from all over the world doing a 1 or 2 second, I support Israel, I support Israel, I support Israel. So you can tell what they're trying to do. But like I said, upon further investigation, something doesn't add up. The video only encourages for the truth to come out, in my opinion. Because when I looked at the comment section, which of course I cut and pasted, and I have 4 or 5 pages of the comments. So let's just read some of the comments. I think this is a worthy conversation. How many people out there in the comment section on this video support Israel, and how many are adamant that something is rotten in Israel? The old saying is something's rotten in Denmark. But I changed that. Something's rotten in Israel, in my opinion. And anyways, apparently the thumbs up is 11 thumbs up for this video. The thumbs down, now that's another story. 146 thumbs down. I don't think I've ever had a video that disproportionate. Usually I get a dozen or so thumbs up and maybe 1 or 2 thumbs down. Like a lot of videos, you might get 1,000 thumbs up on somebody who's popular, and 20 or 40 or even 100 thumbs down. But rarely do you see one that says 11 thumbs up and 146 thumbs down in 1,437 views. So almost 1,500 views. And not everybody leaves thumbs up or thumbs down or comments. So that's pretty significant there. So much more, 1,000% plus thumbs down. 1,000%. Because 1%, 10% of 146 is 14. And this is 11 to 146. So let's read some of the comments from all the people who thumbs it down, and people who probably didn't do thumbs up or thumbs down. All right, here's one that's in German. I can't read it. The next one says, Barry says, all of these people look ill. So one of the commenters says, all these people who are supporting Israel, commenter says they look ill. They should all go and live there, otherwise they are not truly standing with them. The next comment, history, I'm only reading the first part of anybody's name. History of Liar. The world hates Israel. Iran will end their occupation in Palestine. Well, I don't know how Iran is going to end the occupation in Palestine with the USA, the UK, and all the other allied powers and pretty much most of the whole world under the control of the evil world controllers. Uh, all over Europe, Australia, New Zealand, the whole world is sending weapons and money to Israel, the little dot on the map, to decimate the surrounding countries. Yes or no? Please leave a comment. Put something in the chat. What do you think? I got 2 thumbs up and 1 viewer. But sometimes that viewer count is not accurate. All right, next one says, Dion says, hoax, probably made by the IDF cyber unit. So I do believe that the Israeli intelligence and other intelligence, even here in the USA and the UK and Germany and Australia and Austria, all over the world, they have these big rooms full of people and computers who are out there creating all this false narrative to deceive the rest of us. Meanwhile, AI and other troops in all these rooms are monitoring and document everything we say and do. I firmly believe that. Is there anybody who can say in the chat section or the comment section, or my email is usually down below my video, that it is not true? We're not under 100%, 1,000% surveillance, and everything is being documented. I would hate to be in error. I think we are. I think everybody knows it. All right. Same video is on YouTube, only positive comments. So this video on YouTube, same video, the guy says, only has positive comments. And I did, I'm not going to talk about anything negative, so I'll just shut up when it comes to censorship on certain social media sites. How's that? Because I'm on a social media site and I'm making a video. And I'd like to stay there on friendly terms if I can. Get it? Wink, wink. Anyways, so on YouTube, this commenter says only positive comments. Any negative comments are blocked. All right. Yahweh is gay. That's crazy. You won't believe how many governments have been captured by Israel. F Israel. So how many? I've read 6 comments so far. The first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comments so far. The first one was in German. Sometimes I can figure out what they're saying even in different languages, but German looks a little crazy. Next one, Demas says, NKI is the voice of religious Jews. So apparently this is Hanayana Neifeld Israel News. So the person posting this video is probably not the creator of this video. But whoever NKI is the voice of religious Jews. So there is a propaganda campaign going on, trying to deceive the world, in my opinion. And somebody here is confirming that the NKI is the voice of religious Jews worldwide in their Torah-based opposition to the state of Israel. Next page. Remember, we're talking about a video, you won't believe how many countries support Israel, which when I saw the title, of course, I had to watch it. Then I thought to myself while watching the video, I wonder what the other people are saying. And then I saw the comments and I said, I got to cut and paste this and print it out and talk about it in my video. So let's continue to go here. I guess this is a continuation of the last comment here. So apparently there's an opposition to the current government in Israel called nkusa.org. So we should listen to the followers of the Torah, not the satanic Illuminati Mason Rothschilds. You're not a Jew, but you're a Hebrew. So how many people, I know there's been the dumbing down of the world, how many people know what a Hebrew is and what a Jew is? Are all Jews Hebrews? The correct answer is not even close. Most of the people who call themselves Jews are called Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi. I'm not kidding on the last part, Nazi. And apparently these Ashkenazis are kind of white like me, and they're from Khazaria, now called Ukraine. So that whole area between the Russian territories and the Germanic countries, German countries, 1,000 years ago, 1,300, 1,400 years ago, 1,500 years ago, was Khazaria. Later on, it got divided, and the major portion of it is Ukraine. And it's been known to have what they called the Jewish mafia, which weren't Hebrews, Jewish mafia, or the Yiddish Jews, who were the bulk of the Jews immigrating into America in the late 1800s. It was a controlled situation. They needed to get more of these people into the USA to beef up the Democratic Party in the 1800s, late 1800s. It was an inside job. So they could beef up the Democratic Party so they could get a Democrat elected president, and that would be Woodrow Wilson, 1912, who gave these people, same people, the Jewish mafia types, Illuminati Zionists, control of America's money in 1913 and started World War I in 1914. It's just like dominoes. All this stuff, for a lot of people who don't poke into this at all, is common knowledge. Let's get back to the comments. Midas says, you wouldn't believe the dislike to like ratio. I believe it, I just saw it. But of course, if I was on YouTube, it'd be the opposite. Hightower says, time to fight, fire up the ovens for another reset. I don't think they ever fired up the ovens for these people. And I certainly wouldn't suggest firing up ovens today. A lot of arrest maybe and imprisonment, and in some cases execution. For the people who are mass murderers, I don't care who they are. Ashkenazi, Jewish mafia, Illuminati, Zionist, and of course all the controlled politicians in all the countries sending all the money and weapons to feed this beast, destroying the world. Oh, gotta control my blood pressure here. It's a crazy situation we're living in, and not enough people allow themselves to get fired up and emotionally charged and say something and do something, write a letter to their congressman or even pay a visit to their congressman or their state congressional representative or their governor, or write a letter to the state's attorney. You get it. I guess people are realizing it's a waste of time to do anything because everything is controlled. And we learned that during the COVID worldwide lockdown, or apparently reported in the news, the elite gained a 38% increase in their net worth worldwide. So if they were worth 100 trillion, they were 90 days after the worldwide lockdown, they were worth 138 trillion, 38% of 100 trillion. I'm just guessing at the number, which means if they gained a net worth of 38 trillion reported in the news 90 days after the worldwide lockdown, that means the rest of us lost 38%. And if it's 100 trillion they had, or it could be 200 trillion, it might be 82%, whatever. We all lost what they gained. Of course, didn't come from it, nowhere. So when they shut down a good portion of the middle class businesses all over the world, the big corporations took up the slack. They made a killing, and they do this all the time, rigging the whole thing. I don't even want to talk about the tariffs, where everything caused the market to go down, crashing. And then apparently Donald Trump said, well, wait a minute, after everything crashed, I'm going to put this thing on hold for 90 days or something, and everything goes robust. You don't think they know what they're doing? And when everybody was bailing and crashing, that they were sitting there waiting to buy it all up when it went down as far as they wanted to allow it to go down. Then they could put it in the news. Oh, yeah, we see everybody in the world's getting fired up, so we're going to put a 90-day moratorium on this thing. Can you see how they can control the narrative and make all this money? So time to fire up the ovens again. Jews are out of control. But are they Jew? What is a Jew? Are they Hebrews? I would think that the Palestine people who have been living there for the past couple thousand years would have more native Arab, Hebrew, and natives DNA than the Ashkenazis coming from Khazaria, now called Ukraine. And in the Jewish newspapers, they call Ukraine heavenly Jerusalem. And they got plans for developing Ukraine. Well, wait a minute. If they're going to develop Ukraine, what are they going to do with all the people living in Ukraine, owning the property? Oh, let's have a war and destroy everything. Wait a minute. Has that ever happened before? Oh, yeah. They plan on redeveloping Palestine. And they blamed it on Hamas, and they decimated everything. And now they have bidding competition for people who want to buy up the real estate. And even Trump announced it would be some kind of paradise vacation wonderland. This was in the news. It was announcements. So we see what the plan is here. Again and again, they do this. All right. Ma says, I was unaware the ovens were fired up the first time. They were saying 6 million Jews were in danger during World War I and before that. And now they're even saying that Jews are in danger again all over Europe. But if you check the encyclopedias and the population counts, the censorship, there weren't 6 million Jews around to be gassed, or 5 million, or even 1 million. A lot of the Jews left during the period of the civil wars in Europe in the late 1800s, after Karl Marx wrote the book, The Communist Manifesto, in 1848. And they had a civil war in the United States 15 years later. So were a lot of people in the South, all those plantation owners and people who had crops and everything, lost all their estates to the carpetbaggers who swoop in and gobbled everything up. That was the plan. That's what they were doing in Europe at the same time in the 1800s and late 1800s. And so they were whispering into the ears of the politicians in the USA that, oh, all those Jewish people, our brethren, are in trouble over there between Russia and Germany, called the Pale of Settlement. You can look this stuff up. Pale of Settlement. They were there for 200 years after being exiled and banished from Europe for 300 years. Look it up. Because of an incompatibility of religions. The synagogue of Satan religion of these people is incompatible with Christianity. And now they want to banish Christianity because it's getting in the way of the synagogue of Satan, all the LGBTQ and promoting all this progressivism and no he's and no she's and a complete freak shows and trying to say that it's okay to have sex with children and the whole bizarre thing happening all around us. It's quite the conversation to try to have making a video. There's just so much to this conversation. All right, so I was unaware the ovens were fired up the first time. Where did you hear of this? Was it in a Marxist indoctrination center known as the elementary school building? So all of the school buildings and colleges, etc., it's all teaching deception, revisionism, lies. Strat Club says if people knew the truth about the IDF's genocide against Gazans, they would want to drop a bomb on Netanyahu's head. And it's hard to wake people up to what's going on, even if you show them the destroyed cities and the killed people and murdered people. Kenny says, Satan Yahoo. Dion says, BS. Recent polls show that 90% of the populations of the Mideast countries from Turkey to Algeria have a very negative view of Israel, and that majorities of other countries, including the USA, have a negative view of Israel. So the whole world watching the horrors going on in Lebanon and Gaza and the West Bank, Palestine, and Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, Libya, Tunisia, the whole area, and Ukraine. But you can't get too many people to be conscious of this. Most people don't want to be aware of it. They would rather run and hide. You can't even have a 30-second conversation with anybody on a lot of this stuff. And if you're watching this video, you know that. Try talking to your family. Try talking to your friends. Try talking to strangers down on the city street or in the mall or in a restaurant. Nobody, it seems, almost nobody will listen to any of this stuff. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. That's going to come back to bite all these souls when they leave this world. They're going to get on the other side of the veil, and they're going to be pleading their case, and maybe the angels and the Lord will say, leave me alone. You wanted to be left alone. They're just guessing here how it works on the other side. But there is another side. I can assure you of that. And there is a higher realm and a lower realm, if you get my drift. And you don't want to be in the lower realm. It's kind of hot down there. And a lot of people don't believe that because they've been programmed to not believe there's another reality when you leave this world. That's another whole conversation. I've made plenty of videos on those conversations. All right. So somebody commented on the last comment. Recent polls showed that 90% of the populations of the world are actually awake. And PJ says, only 90%? So it's only a few percent of the people who control all the media and the governments who are able to create this false narrative and make it appear like it's the popular narrative. They control the machine and AI, etc. Basil says, I'm still waiting for me pizza. You effers said you had 6 million. Haven't seen Jack, you lying Fs. Wow. Basil, you're tough there. Gunner says, you effing scum. You are suggested to me by whom? So this video was suggested to this guy, probably by AI, suggesting it to lots of people. I'm sure one of your buddies didn't suggest this unless they were trying to make you aware of the deception. Then hopefully you would know who suggested it to you. Midas says, by Ray, the anti-establishment guy who pushes big pharma ads all day. You've seen all these big pharma ads for all these cures for cancer and flus and colds. And viruses? Well, wait a minute. Flus and colds are viruses. And I've gone over this many times, but heck, it can't hurt to go over it again. If you've got a medical book in your house, this is 1987 medical book. Look at this, the American Medical Association. If you got one of these in your house, I'm sure you all do. This is 1987. You can find 1990, 95, and 94. Look in the back of the book under colds and flus. It'll direct you to the page, and it's called the coronavirus or rhinovirus. It's always been a coronavirus. Coronavirus is COVID. Coronavirus. So the coronavirus is a cold or a flu. According to medical books for the past 40, probably 50 years. But they don't tell you that. If they'd have shut down the whole world for a cold or a flu back in 2020, the world would have resisted even further. And when the world did resist back in 2020, all of a sudden, all the protests were gobbled up by the Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, and the LGBT cubes, which is all controlled. So they changed, they distracted everybody, made it to look like it was something else. Instead of rational people saying, you can't lock down the world. Why don't you tell us it's a cold or a flu? And why don't you tell us that you weaponized gain of function on colds and flus? And President Obama had to put a ban on it because he got a lot of pressure from intelligent people, professors and doctors in the media. And in 2017, after President Trump got elected in 2016, he reversed the ban, which means they financed all these smaller mad scientists and hospitals and doctors, etc., universities, to go back to gain of function for flus and colds. Did you know that they had banned it under Obama and Donald Trump as soon as he got into office in 2017, reversed the ban? The first thing he did, and of course in 2019, he had Operation Warp Speed to get everybody jabbed. And so many people love Trump. How crazy is this? And Obama didn't do it, make an executive order creating the ban because he wanted to. It was because he had a lot of pressure. The pressure was gone, so Donald Trump reversed it in 2017 and then had Operation Warp Speed to get everybody ejected in 2019. And now he's back again. Get ready for a roller coaster ride to insanity. All right, how many people I got? I got 2 people, thumbs up, and apparently nobody watching. All alone here. Is anybody in the viewing? Does anybody want to type something in the chat? Or you can send me an email to rickmiracle@yahoo.com. All right, continuing on here. Guess I could make a whole video just on these comments. All right. Anonymous, I guess, says, Hola hoax Jew BS. Carol says, they got to try to make videos to show they still have a few supporters, LOL. Carol says, are you effing kidding me? Even people in Israel do not like Mitten Boo Boo. He's a dirty crook. Libtard says, Jew Israel. Warren says, F shit Israel. This is the comments here. Mappa says, I stand with Jesus Christ and the true Israelites. The people known as Jews, also known as Judaism, are the children of the fallen ones known as the Canaanites. God told Israel to destroy them, or they would become a thorn in their side. Look where we're at today. The Jews are the children of Lucifer and the children of God, who came down and had sex with human women. So apparently he's talking about the fallen angels. Carol says, they Zionists, false Jews, sure are a thorn in everyone's side. Look at that Netanyahu guy, horrible. Kazar says, Edomites. Kazar says again, Edomites are Canaanites, the worst batch of them. Edomite Jew bloodlines can be traced back to the Kenites, who are the children of Cain. This is how we know they are the serpent seed and why Christ called them the children of the devil, aka the tares amongst the wheat. Cliff says, paid actors, poor actors at that, words fail me. So if you remember what we're talking about, we're talking about this video, which you can look it up and watch it and see the comments for yourself. You won't believe how many countries support Israel. So I think I'll stop there and move on to some other documents and try to finish this video for however long I'm going to go here. All right, are you ready? Buckle up. Climate change, global warming, rising oceans. And if you talk to anybody that lives next to the ocean or the beach, and I challenge anybody out there, please tell me the beach or the ocean or the boat dock or whatever else has risen and is causing you some distress. Please, somebody, anybody, with a picture. I want a picture before and after. But the bottom line is I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of people that have reported, and I've been to Florida. I spent most of my life in Florida. And I've been other places. I got friends who live up in New York and Long Island, and they're crossing the bridges. And I'm sure wherever you live, they have bridges. And the water is not encroaching on we the people all over the world. But to continue in the narrative, it's going to keep on coming. And if you keep telling a lie long enough, even though you can't go out there and measure the ocean rising 1 inch, but if you tell a lie enough, people will start believing it. So this is in the news for that very reason. New report warns that iconic coastal town is at risk of destruction. Without action, impacts will worsen. But if you read the details, apparently they want to spend $1.2 billion on infrastructure improvements to be ready, that's what it says, to be ready for the projected rise in sea levels by the end of the century. So this is 2025. So by the year 2025, so by the year 2100, $75 years from now, there's going to be a perceptible rise in the water. So they want $1.2 billion for infrastructure improvements. Why are rising sea levels such a concern? Do you think America does a good job at protecting its natural beauty? So anyways, if you go read this, new report warns that iconic coastal town is at risk of destruction. And you go to the comment section, like I did, and you print out the comments. Let's see what the comment section says. So the engineering firm wanted $1.2 billion. Is one claiming they need to act before global warming floods part of the beach in 75 years? Why don't you just tell the 500 people near the beach to move? Should you spend $1.2 billion on 500 people so they could stay living here for a problem that might happen in 75 years? And I challenge anybody to go to any beach, anywhere, contact your friends or people who live in other countries and say, hey, yeah, the ocean is rising and here's a picture. You can't get one. It can't be produced. It's all a lie. All right, more comments here. Stop fighting nature. She wins every time. Now, do I believe that there are natural cycles and global warming and ice ages? That's been documented by geologists, etc., for the past 100,000 to 300,000 years. So it does happen, but I don't think we're there now. If anything, we might be heading into a global cooling period, which means there would be more ice. I think we're coming out of we're in a global warming period right now, and I do not believe it has reversed yet. We're still coming from an ice age. So how much will it get warmer before it turns around? I don't know. But even that much water, there is documents and reported stuff in the news that the glaciers in the North Pole and South Pole in some places has vastly increased, while on the other side of the Arctic or Antarctic, some of it may have melted. So there could be a shift from one side to the other. But it would take a whole lot to raise up the ocean. If I believed all these rising sea level stories, these low-lying coastal towns will not be able to be protected. So if it's going to happen to this one beach, then it's going to happen to all of Florida and all over New Orleans and Italy and Spain and Portugal and the whole world. There's nothing you could do about that if it was true. Unless you want to just throw trillions beyond trillions of dollars at these lying manipulators, in my opinion. My humble opinion. All right, moving on here. According to previous predictions, the town should already be underwater. So they've been predicting the rising sea levels for a very long time. Can you think back to when you first learned about it? And you can't find one beach anywhere, one person who has a dock or a shipyard, etc., where the dock is underwater, anywhere. Or to somebody's complaining, oh yeah, it used to come halfway up to the piling on this dock. Now it's, a couple inches from the top. There's nobody who can produce a picture of anything like that. So it's about a potential problem, creating fear, and so they can continue to rob us and cheat us. Anyways, the entire premise is bogus, to wit, as critical sea ice is lost because of rising temperatures, the ocean levels rises. Nope. It's just like ice melting in your glass doesn't cause it to overflow. So if you fill your glass up full of ice and you let it melt, I think it's going to go down. Give it a try. But it's not going to overflow. They built on the sand dune. Now they want taxpayers to fix their problem. So I'm sure whoever these people are, this is in Marion County, which is about an hour and a half drive north of the Golden Gate Bridge. So I guess these people would like $1.2 billion to beef up their infrastructure for these wealthy people. Good luck if they can get it. It's going to come out of our taxpayers' dollars, FYI. You'll be paying for it. I'll be paying for it. All the elderly people will be paying for it. And whatever excess money they manage to wiggle from us, they'll use to buy more weapons and start more wars and kill more people. and do more biological weapon development and jab more people or spray more stuff in the sky and more propaganda on TV to create more deviant sexual oriented people and special privileges for the minorities everywhere so they can disrupt our society, giving the lazy and unwanted people who have chosen to be unwanted the privileges that we once had because we're hardworking and we care about society. So we have to be shut up and censored and destroyed. That would be some very evil forces doing that. And Jesus called them the synagogue of Satan. Back to the comments on this video here, or I should say press release. It's not a video, this is a press release. New report warns that iconic coastal town is at risk of destruction. Without action impacts, it will worsen. All right. Why not use some of that glorious green California energy to run desalination plants? Two birds with one stone. Just another idea, suggestion. Marin County, California, very rich area. Let them pay for it. Yeah, they got a lot of money there. You and I couldn't afford to live there, but they want our money to rebuild or enhance their infrastructure. Stimson Beach is not an iconic town. It's simply one of the many California beach towns. It is lovely, but not really good for swimming, very cold. Also hard to get to. Very rich people live there. They built on the sand, stupid. Another one says the highest risk for this town is large earthquakes. Just like every town along the Ring of Fire, building dikes increase the danger of massive disasters when they crumble from the quake. Just interesting things to think about. Iconic to who? The era from where the town was relevant was to the past generations. It's time to move out and let nature take its course. Of course, I don't think the ocean is actually rising. And again, can anybody produce a picture of a dock, a beach? A problem that now exists that didn't exist, that you have a before and after picture? I think not. I would look forward to anybody producing that. I would show it in a video. I would look it up. I would go there maybe. Not to fear. I don't have to spend my money and travel anywhere because it's not happening. Imagine the beaches in Brazil, Peru, the whole world, Argentina. People would be complaining. But they're not in this wealthy town an hour and a half north of Golden Gate Bridge. That's a very rich area. I think it's a very big bridge. Bet you can go down to the bottom of that bridge, the big pilings, and take some pictures. I'll bet they're not underwater. Anyways, will somebody please do it? Does anybody live near there? Can you go take a picture and show me? Send it to me. My email's in the comment section. Please, anybody, any bridge. George Washington Bridge. Those big bridges in Florida. Somebody, Texas, Louisiana, any place. South Carolina. Can anybody get me a picture of a problem? I'm pleading with people here. I want to know the truth. Not going to get any evidence, am I? It'd be all over the news if there was evidence. The news people would be showing up the pictures. Hey, it was before, 5 years ago. Here it is now, underwater. You're not going to get it. You're going to get lies. All right. It is lovely, but not really good for swimming. Let's see. I'm going to just finish on this page here. I remember in the late 60s to early 70s, the scientists were saying we're going to have a new ice age. So that's what they were saying in the 60s and 70s, 1960s and 1970s. And there's books written, and I've showed them. They were predicting an ice age, but they couldn't get any evidence. So they switched to global warming. They couldn't get any evidence. So they switched to climate change. They couldn't get the cold, they couldn't get the hot, so let's just give it hot and cold, hot and cold. Meanwhile, we're controlling the weather with all those Doppler radars and HARP transmitters and dumping stuff in the sky and all that. And we got the documents to prove about all this controlling the weather in 2025. So look up the document, Owning the Weather in 2025. And it is 2025, and they own the weather. Go look up the document if you haven't seen it. Owning the Weather in 2025. Write that down. Owning the Weather in 2025. It's that simple. Go type it in your search engine. See the document. It's readily available. They wrote it back in 87, 92 or something. Owning the Weather in 2025. But you're watching this video. How many of you will go look it up, 25 pages, download the PDF, print it out, and show it to your neighbors that they said they were going to own the weather in 2025. It is 2025, and we're seeing all the evidence. Watch the recent Richie from Boston video I just posted. This is July 6th. You can look at my channel. Just go back 1 or 2 videos. But I get exhausted here. Will people go do it? Will they go watch Richie from Boston? Will they go look up the Doppler radar systems? Will they go look at the satellite images? Will they use their head? Those people won't. They'll refuse. Try talking to anybody. Believe me, I have. Your whole family will think you're deranged. You point to the sky spraying. Look at all those X, Y's, and Z's. You should see what they've done to the sky here in North Carolina this morning. And what I will do to this video, I will go take my iPhone, I will download the video I took this morning, and I will add it to the end of this video to prove my point. The insanity. You don't think that stuff they're spraying can control the weather? And watch Richie from Boston video. If you're not convinced they're controlling the weather, I would be shocked. But I know most people are 98% of the world population is in complete denial. They won't deal with this. They'll watch all the Palestine people be genocided. Everything bombed to smithereens, and nobody will do nothing. Mostly nobody. The very few people who will do anything are watching videos like mine and leaving a little comment. And that's the end of it. There's a little joke. The aliens come flying by. They look down here, they watch our TV, and they look at some of the newspapers. Maybe they even land and look at things. The people walking down the streets with all the tattoos and body piercings and freak show. They decide to get back in their ship and leave and put a sign outside the atmosphere. There's no intelligent life down there. They're all zombies down there. Guess I'd like to fly up there and see if there's not a sign up there saying that. Warning, warning. Quarantine this planet. Huge deceptions going on. Everybody's lied to and everybody believes the lies. All right, 60s and 70s, it was Ice Age. Now they want us to believe that California is going to rise 3.3 feet. Hogwash. The widespread adoption of clean energy sources such as solar will help slow the rise and buy more time for coastal towns to prepare. Really? The world, with the U.S. leading, is producing more oil fossil fuels every year. The article sounds like an ad for solar. All right, so this particular page is red. If I just write on the whole page here, I read this page. And maybe I'll come back to this in the next video and read the second page. So with that said, I will end this video. And I got a whole lot of documents more to make. So we'll be back making another video. And when I stop this video, I'm going to go to my iPhone and download that video I took this morning and add it to the end of this video. I'm showing proof what they're doing to the sky. It's insane. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. Have we got anybody else here? I think most watching this knows of this info already. Thank you, Tiffany. Also, I do share my knowledge with others, and I really hope others are as well. Thank you very much, Rick, for your videos. And thank you for watching and commenting. And you can be sure I'll be back. Rick Miracle reporting.